Hello and welcome to another episode of Military English Made Easy. We're going forward in our military basic English book, and this week we focus on military vehicles. Vehicles have always played a significant role in the military. They carry soldiers, transport equipment, weapons, provide mobility for troops, and perform a series of other important operations. Unarmored fighting vehicles, UFVs. Unarmored fighting vehicles are used in combat support roles. Modern armies relied on unarmored fighting vehicles for almost unlimited variety of purposes. These vehicles include light and heavy trucks, buses, ambulances, tractors, fire trucks, snowplows, amphibious vehicles, and construction equipment. Trucks. The backbone of any army's UFVs is the truck, or lorry as it's called in the UK. It is a wheeled motor vehicle designed to transport cargo, including fuel, ammunition, and other vehicles. The unique geometry of the high mobility multi-purpose wheeled vehicle, HMMWV or Humvee in short, provides its durability, mobility, and reliability. It also has maneuverability and versatility. It is agile in the most difficult terrain. It can be configured as a troop carrier, armament carrier, shelter carrier, ambulance, missile carrier, or scout vehicle. No other light tactical vehicle in the world approaches the Humvee's capabilities or cost effectiveness. Light utility vehicles. A military light utility vehicle is usually short and relatively light compared to other trucks and cars, is unarmored and has short body overhangs for all-terrain mobility and at least 4 passenger capacity. Military light utility vehicles are among the most common military vehicles in armies of most countries. A light multi-role vehicle, LMV, is a tactical vehicle that uses modular armor packs to adjust its level of protection to its mission requirements. In regards to mine protection, the vehicle ground clearance is 493 mm. It also uses suspended seats of aeronautical derivation, V-hull, underbody, and a collapsible sandwich structure in the floor to deflect and absorb mine blasts. Mobility is helped by a run-flat system, allowing the vehicle to move even with completely deflated tires. Armored Fighting Vehicles, AFVs. An armored fighting vehicle is a combat vehicle protected by strong armor and generally armed with weapons, which combines operational mobility, tactical offensive and defensive capabilities. AFVs can be wheeled or tracked. Tanks. A tank is an armored fighting vehicle designed for frontline combat, with heavy firepower, strong armor and trucks providing good battlefield maneuverability. Although first designed to overcome the deadlock of trench warfare in World War I, the tanks are now an important asset of modern ground forces and a key part of combined arms combat. Modern tanks are versatile, mobile land weapon system platforms mounting a large caliber cannon in a rotating gun turret, supplemented by mounted machine guns or other weapons. The heavy vehicle armor provides protection for the crew, the vehicle's weapons and its propulsion systems, as well as operational mobility due to its use of tracks rather than wheels. This allows the tank to move over rugged terrain and be positioned on the battlefield in advantageous locations. These features enable the tank to perform well in a tactical situation. The three traditional factors determining a tank's capability effectiveness are firepower, protection and mobility. Firepower is the ability of a tank's crew to identify, engage and destroy enemy tanks and other targets using its large caliber cannon. Protection is the degree to which the tank's armor, profile and camouflage enable the tank crew to evade detection, providing protection from the enemy fire and retaining vehicle functionality during and after combat. Mobility includes how well the tank can be transported by rail, sea or air to the operational staging area, including traversing of obstacles and rough terrain. Basically, what the tank consists of: optical periscope, gun mantlet, coaxial gun, fume extractor, main gun, driver's optics, driver's hatch, glass 6 plate, track, machine gun munition, commander's MG, hatch or cupola, turret, turret ring, hull, engine air intake, engine compartment, armored skirt, drive sprocket, link and road wheel. In the battles of World War I, opposing forces dug parallel trench fortifications guarded by barbed wire and machine gunners. The strategy made for high casualties on both sides. As a response to the rise of trench warfare, the modern tank was built in the early 1900s, a machine that could plow through mud, barbed wire and heavy fire to clear a path for infantry troops. The final design had 6 components: internal combustion engine, hull, turret, armor and guns. Caterpillar trucks work on the same principle as a conveyor belt. The tank engine rotates one or more steel sprocket and the tank's wheels ride along the moving track, just like the wheels in a car run along the road. The truck vehicles can move easily over rough terrain because the truck makes contact with a wide area on the ground. A tank grips the ground with dozens of feet of track. The hull is the bottom portion of the tank, the track system and an armored body containing the engine and transmission. Its job is to transport the top portion of the tank, the turret, from place to place. The turret is an armored structure supporting one or more guns, typically a heavy cannon and a couple of machine guns. The turret sits in a wide circle and at the center of the hull. In the conventional design, a spur gear in the hull, called the traverse gear, engages an internal gear lining the inside of the turret. Turning the traverse gear rotates the turret on the hull, allowing the tank crew to aim the main gun without turning the entire tank. The crew can also pivot the main gun up and down. For efficiency, the heaviest armor on the main battle tank is placed on its front. Tank tactics require the vehicle to always face the likely direction of enemy fire as much as possible, even in defense of or withdrawal operations. A main battle tank will normally be designed to take its hits from other tank guns and anti-tank missiles. While heavier armor provides better protection, it makes vehicles less mobile, limits its air transportability, increases cost, uses more fuel and may limit the places it can go. For example, many bridges may be unable to support the weight of a main battle tank. A gun is the main armament of a tank. Modern tank guns are large caliber, high velocity guns capable of firing kinetic energy penetrators, high explosive anti-tank runs, and in some cases guided missiles. Anti-aircraft guns can also be mounted on tanks. As the tank's primary armament, they are almost always employed in a direct fire mode to defeat a variety of ground targets at all ranges, including dug-in infantry, lightly armored vehicles, especially other heavily armored tanks. They must provide accuracy, range, penetration and rapid fire in a package that is as compact and lightweight as possible in order to allow mounting in the cramped confines of an armored gun turret. Tank guns generally use self-contained ammunition allowing rapid loading or use an autoloader. They often display a bulge in the barrel, which is a bore evacuator, or a device on the muzzle, which is a muzzle brake. The Leopard 2A6 and 2A7 main battle tank is one of the best main battle tanks in the world. It outperforms the M12A Abrams and Challenger 2 in terms of protection, firepower and mobility. The Leopard 2A6 and 7 is protected by composite armor of new generation and has external modular armor. The Leopard 2A6-7 has a hunter-killer capability that many other contemporary tanks lack. Armored Personnel Carriers, APCs. The troops on foot were vulnerable to enemy fire. The armored personnel carrier was designed to transport infantry troops to the front line. Armored Personnel Carriers Class 2 is a multi-role armored wheeled vehicle developed with the high technology to meet the requirements of the mechanized infantry forces. It also assists in transporting infantry troops rapidly and safely under combined protection against bullet and mine threat, as well as NBC weapons. The family of vehicles it belongs to includes the following vehicles: APC, Armored Personnel Carrier; IFV, Infantry Fighting Vehicle; ARV, Armored Recovery Vehicle; ACV, Armored Command Vehicle; and AAV, Armored Ambulance Vehicle. Its overall characteristics are high mobility and maneuverability, excellent cross-country performance, long optional range, various types of armament adaptation due to large payload, all-round armor protection, observation and firefighting capabilities in all directions, simple system with high reliability, easy operation and maintenance, low noise and vibration in the crew compartment, all-wheel independent suspension and disc brakes, and deployable by air, sea and land transport. For example, the Pandur is an APC developed and produced during the 1980s. The baseline vehicle is armed with a 12.7mm heavy machine gun. Its modular design allows it to be fitted with a variety of weapon systems, including a 20mm autocannon and an armored two-man 90mm gun turret. The most significant change in the Pandur II 8x8 is the introduction of an 8x8 configuration with more interior space. The construction is an all-wheeled steel hull with optional armor upgrades. The basic armor package is designed to protect against 7.62 to 14.5mm armor-piercing rounds. In the Polish army, of course, the Wolverine 8x8 is widely used with a gun turret that has a 30mm Bushmaster cannon. The Pandur vehicle is designed to be transportable in a C-130 Hercules aircraft. The driver is seated on the left at the front of the engine and the engine is to the right. The driver is provided with a single-piece hatch cover as well as three-day periscopes, out of which one can be replaced by a passive periscope for night missions. Improved suspension is fitted for optimum cross-country mobility. For this week it's all. Next week we're going to move to another part of the craft, this time military aircraft. So have a nice week, a nice weekend, stay in touch with English, and we'll hear ourselves next week. See ya!